What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is the 1st of November. Caught a really good trade to start off the month, so let's get right into the pre-market plan. Alright, so my ES bullish plan for today was to watch 5745, which was this 30-minute demand that was formed overnight. I wanted to see if buyers would defend this zone with aggression and strength, and then look for longs targeting this previous support key level at 5781. My bearish plan, most importantly, was to watch 5806 to 5800. Now 5806 was actually the previous day highs, and 5800, the psych number, was actually support overnight, or I would say pre-market yesterday, and also on October 23rd, which we bounced off very aggressively from. So that was a key level. Anytime I see a key level break, I want to see that retest and see if the opposite party either rejects that level or supports it. In this case, since the bears actually broke below it, I wanted to see that retest get rejected. Now, the other thing is that it actually had a lot of confluence, because if we pull out the fibs here and we take it from the pre-market highs of yesterday to the lows of yesterday, we could see that it hits exactly at 0.786, the golden pocket level, right? So that's a lot of confluence right there, and it can't get any better than that. So all I had to do was just wait for price to test and then go to the lower time frame to see if the setup is actually valid. Alright, so getting into the actual trade details here, I did mark up the chart just to show you guys my exact entry, where I put my stop loss, where I trimmed a portion of my position, and then where I closed the remaining final position. Now in the open, we did have news at 9:45 and 10, and right off the open we did see this nice strong push into my area of interest at 10:30 within an hour of the market open. On the first test, I wasn't able to get an exact entry, so I didn't enter here. But luckily, price did end up actually retesting 5800, and this was where I started getting a little bit interested and was watching the order flow to see if there was a valid entry. And I entered at 5797.75 with a stop loss of 5800. So risking only about 2 points, and then I trimmed some at 5784, and there was a specific reason why I did that, and we'll get into that when we look at the footprint. And then I closed my final position here at these lows at 5771. So was a really good trade. The order flow was definitely a key piece in me getting this entry here. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to walk you guys through my exact entry, what I was looking for on the footprint, what I saw, and then why I closed here, and then why I also closed down here as well. Alright, so this is a tool called Motive Wave. This is the tool that I use to read order flow, specifically the footprint charts. And you guys will basically see price action from 11:28 onwards. And since this was a 2-hour trade, I did have to speed this recording up, or else it would take too long to go through it. But some portions of the video is faster than others. The area where I entered and exited is slowed down, so you guys could see what I saw to make the decisions I made. And let's get right into it. You guys will see in a couple seconds here, when we test 5800 and above, where I make my entry. And then I'm going to narrate everything that I was seeing at that moment. Alright, so we get our test at 5800. Alright, buyers are trying to push price higher. They get that test at 5801. Look at the volume, 5,000. The point of control currently at 5800 is 1100. Buyers are continuing trying to push this price higher. You can see this positive 300 delta at 5800, which is a lot. Alright, so you can see I made my entry there. Now, one of the things that I was looking for here was for all that strong aggressive buying to be absorbed and then price eventually reversing, which was my validation and my confirmation to get in. You could see that the point of control at this bar was 20 5.71 with a negative 65 delta, but more specifically you could see at 5800 we had 312 positive delta with 1996 transactions, which was actually a lot. Now in this case, if we see all that buying up there, we should see price move higher, but eventually price wasn't able to push higher and we started rejecting that level. And you could also see the volume in this total bar was over 12k, so which is a lot. So I took my entry at 5797.75, stop loss at 5800, only risking about 2 points. So you can see I set my targets. I did have my targets a little bit lower than where I actually exited, and I'll go through exactly why I exited a little bit earlier than where I was initially targeting. So at this point I'm just kind of managing the trade, just everything's all set. Also watching NQ to see where it's rejecting / bouncing, and at this point NQ was actually at the high of day, which gave me an added confluence to my position here on ES. And you can see price now starting to go lower. Risk to reward for this trade was about 9-1, which is excellent. Lots of volume coming in from both sides. You can see there I adjusted my stop loss. And price continues further down. Now here comes this key area of 5782, 5781. You can see that every time we tested this level, price kept bouncing from here. You could even see on the right side that it was supported by buyers from 5782 all the way to 5779. And every time we tested this level on the footprint, we completely bounced higher from it. And there was about 2 tests you could see where we bounced from it. This is the first one. Now here we go, testing this area yet again. So this part I slowed it down. And here I'm deciding to basically exit or trim 2 of my positions. I didn't like the bounce we were getting at 5782 from 5 to 5781 and to at 5783. Every time price tested that level, we kept bouncing from it. And we also had a trend line on the chart that you guys might have seen earlier. I was basically looking for a break below it, but price kept bouncing at that area. Now after I closed, we did break below it just by a little bit, and then price again bounced higher. And here we go. This is where we start rallying from that 5782, 5781 level, which I was cautious about. So the next key area to watch is 5790. This was a pivot area on the chart that created a lower high, and you could see that I moved my stop loss to 5790 and a half. This was a key resistance intraday level that I wanted to see price reject from and buyers unable to get above, and you could see that we're currently rejecting that level at the moment. So a nice rejection off of that level. Now remember, 5782, 5781, and look what happens. Completely aggressively break below that level. Now what I want to see is sellers defend 5781, 5782, because that's a key level, right? So if buyers support it, sellers should reject it once we get below. And I slowed it down here as well. And the past 3 bars, you could see that we've been rejecting 5781, exactly what I want to see. Sellers continue defending it. Buyers are trying to get above. But sellers keep rejecting. Now you can see I moved my stop loss to 5783. And then I adjusted it to 5782. Did not want to see price get above now that we are below. $12K volume right there, you can see. Lots of volume from both sides. This is exactly what I want to see, and there you go, right? Price continues moving lower. Sellers defend that 5781, 5782 level. And we continue pushing lower. Now this is where I decided to close my entire position. NQ was actually bouncing off of VWAP, and it was relatively stronger than ES on the day. So I didn't also want to get greedy. My targets were a little bit further than I should have anticipated, but essentially this was a good trade, good exit, because right after this we actually bounced higher. But I mean, in hindsight, if I did hold this for my targets, they would have hit, but didn't want to get greedy. I saw what I saw on NQ and decided to just exit out right here. So overall, good trade. Let's take a look at TradeZella to show you guys the stats. Alright, so looking at my stats here for this trade on TradeZella, my net P&L was $400. I traded with 4 MES contracts. My entry was at 5797.75 with a stop loss of 5800, and I entered at 11:31 a.m. and exited around 1:10 p.m. for my final position. Now looking at the executions here, I took 2 off at 5784 and then the remainder at 5771 and a half. So overall, a great trade. Definitely a great setup. I like trading setups on the higher time frame because they offer really good risk to reward, and this was one of them. So let me know down below if you guys have any questions. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.